On this episode of On the Bridge, we're bringing you the first in a series of Meet the Team interviews, where you get to know a little bit more about the people in the office who make the magic happen. I have sacrificed myself as the first interviewee, but I wasn't going to go it alone, so I also volunteered
David Store
to join me for a joint Meet the Team interview. I'm Alicia Store and my role is Chief Operating Officer at dsnm. My role, as my job title sort of precludes to, is heavily based around the daily operations of the company. I work with every department from finance, working on cash flow, budgeting, debt. I work with the yacht management team on processes, procedures, client retention. I'm in charge of staff management, hiring, firing, training. And also I oversee the marketing and branding of the company. So I do little bits of everything with every department. But my main purpose is to ensure that everyone employed by dsnm can do their job to the best of their ability.
My name's David Store. I'm the CEO of dsnm. I am primarily a yacht manager, so I have my own fleet of yachts. I'm also in charge and head up the team for Compass development, so looking to push the software forward, coming up with new ideas. I don't seem to do as much as Alicia does, but in a different way.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact I get to work with Dave, which obviously anyone would be blessed to have that opportunity, I love the people that we have working in the company. I love working with them. There is nothing better than being surrounded by people who are as passionate as you are about the company and delivering the best service. And we're quite picky about who we employ, but that means we've ended up with the most amazing group of perfectionist, positive people. So there's never a day when I get up in the morning and I dread going to the office, because there's always fun along with all the hard work.
Mine would probably be the pushing of Compass development, that coming up with new ideas. But again, like Liz said, we're very lucky. We have a very good team who are just as passionate as we are doing what they love. And we've tried to create a working environment where it doesn't feel like you're going to work, and that's really important. So yeah, that's probably the most important thing for me, and the most enjoyable thing that I do.
Well, the same as the most enjoyable part, really. It's the people. Finding people who have the right outlook on life is challenging, definitely, because people seem to either get what we're trying to achieve or they don't. So that can be hard. But again, with people, I would say that one thing I've noticed definitely over the last maybe 4-5 years, because there's been various turbulent, worldwide affecting events going on, there is a weight that comes with employing people. And I think unless you're in a position where you have that responsibility, perhaps you don't ever feel like this, but there's definitely been times when I've come home from work, got in bed, and rather than worrying about my mortgage and feeding my child and paying my bills, I've worried about the fact I've got 25 other people's mortgages and their children to feed and their bills to pay. So the idea of that weight of responsibility, that sometimes is really heavy. Not all, I can think of only a few times, especially with the pandemic and other things going on. But yeah, that I would say is something that I've struggled with. Sometimes I wish I cared a little bit less about in general other people and looking, making sure that everyone is secure in their future and job rather than just thinking about myself. So
yeah, I think from my side, I think the biggest challenge for me is trying to make sure that we don't stay still. So with the software development and coming up with new ideas, because I think if you're not moving forward, you're falling behind. You can't stand still in technology, and that's quite a challenge. But I also, a lot of the things that Alicia's just said, it is 24/7, and you don't. We take the role of COO and CEO very seriously. So, we want to make sure that people enjoy where they work and are safe and secure, and that does weigh a little bit heavy sometimes. So, that's probably the most challenging thing for me.
probably for me personally, I would say it's the fact that it's all consuming, and that can be exhausting at times. What makes that manageable is I absolutely love what I do, and I love what we're trying to achieve, and I love what we're trying to build, and I love the fact that we're creating something that's really different and changing in the industry with the software and the service we're providing. But there's never a time when you're off. I haven't switched my phone off in 18 years. I'm not saying it for sympathy because obviously it's all choice, but I would say definitely to run a company successfully, you actually have to be sometimes on an unhealthy level obsessed with what you're doing. And the obsession is anything from the logo being absolutely right when it's going out on something, to hiring the right staff, to thinking about figures when you're laying in bed. So I'm not very good at switching off. So for me, I would say, it's the obsession of everything 24/7. But obviously that's much easier when you love what you do, and I do. So
Yeah, again, I would agree with pretty much everything Alicia's just said.
you can't steal my answer.
Which is a common theme in this interview. But obviously over the last couple of years, we've also had a lot of outside influences on what we've done. With COVID, completely unprecedented. And then the conflict in Ukraine, which is still ongoing. They really stemmed our momentum in growth. Overnight, we were having meetings with lawyers at 1:00 in the morning. Alicia would come down and there'd be paperwork all over the table, working out who we could work with, who we couldn't work with. And that's something that I didn't know what to do. I wasn't trained to do that. So really, I think that the challenging part is making sure that you have a very stable foundation for the business, and you are able to react to anything that comes up. Hopefully not COVID.
Ever again.
Yeah. Whoa, here we go.
Who should go first?
I'm going to go first.
Okay, you go first. I was only going to say nice things. God.
Oh, really? Oh, hold
Have
on.
a bit of faith.
Let me delete that last bit.
Yeah.
It's amazing. The thing is,
really?
Because, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I better change my answer then.
Yeah, the second bit I'm going to delete. We're both very different people. So it works in, I would say, I create a bit of chaos, and then Liz comes and sorts it all out. If we were two the same, I don't think the company would have been anywhere near as successful as it has been. But we get to share the really good times, and we also get to share the load of when it's not very good and when we need to help each other. So, yeah, there's not really... I mean, I can honestly say there's no way dsnm would be as big as it is now if it wasn't for Liz. 1,000,000%. It just wouldn't.
Thank you.
So there's a lot that I bring to the table, but I also appreciate the stuff that Liz brings to the table is can be way more challenging than what I do at times. And yeah, you have the patience of the saint.
I'm not going to argue with that. I do.
I won't say the next bit. That's going to be censored.
It was good practice, us working together as long as we did when we had a child, because I feel now I'm immune to it. I think when you are running a company, it can be quite isolating because there's a lot of decisions that have to be made, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on that maybe your team don't know about. And I think if you are doing it alone, it would be very, very lonely. So working together obviously does have its challenging times, but 99% of the time, it's amazing because, like David said, we share the good times, which is fantastic. But also, if we are going through something more challenging, we have each other to bounce it off. And I do think a problem shared is a problem halved. Sometimes just talking things out rationalizes it in your mind. But actually, I'm lucky because all jokes aside.
We do sort a lot of stuff out over the dinner table.
Yeah, I mean, that is sort of one thing.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky because Dave actually is the most supportive person imaginable as a husband and as a business partner. He has more belief in me than I have in myself. So if ever we're going through something or I'm trying to build something or achieve something, he's actually the one like pushing me. And that's amazing. So I feel very fortunate. There are days I want to throw my stapler at him from across the office, but they're quite few and far between. And I refrain from doing it because it doesn't look good in front of the rest of the team. But no, all in all, it's good. Like he said, we're very different people. So luckily we bring different things to the table. For me, it would be when we won our first Queen's Award and we went to Buckingham Palace and attended a cocktail party, drinks party. And the Queen was there, and Princess Anne had actually particularly highlighted our company as she wanted to come and speak to us. And I think at the time we didn't quite comprehend what was going on. How many years ago was it? 10 years ago?
Yeah, 8, 9, 10 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, so we're obviously quite a bit younger, and just, I don't think at the time the scale of what that meant and being at Buckingham Palace sort of hit home. But yeah, that was probably my proudest moment and probably my best memory.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. It was surreal.
Actually, no, also because we've won 2 Queen's Awards, one for the company and one for Compass Software. So obviously winning the second one was also amazing, but I didn't get to go to Buckingham Palace, sadly, because of COVID.
I've been twice, haven't I?
Yeah. And you met the King, which was obviously very special.
It was. And also, obviously, it's not called the Queen's Award anymore. So we won, like Liz just said, the second one was the last one that the Queen issued. So, and that was for Compass, so that was quite special. And also being in the room with her was amazing. And just doesn't feel real that we actually did do it. And then for business-wise, I'd probably say getting the first users onto Compass, something that we came up with, and that obviously Stuart in the office, the head of development for digital, has helped build. That's pretty special. Something that we've designed and then someone is using is a very amazing feeling.
I don't tend to regret much in general. Perhaps I should maybe regret more. Like, things that happen. I think actually when things happen that aren't great, failing, making mistakes, I tend to think actually that you learn from them. But a regretful situation, which I think I'll probably think about forever, is I had a baby in COVID and right in the middle of the main lockdown. And it meant that, I couldn't take maternity leave because the company was, like so many others in the industry, was in quite a precarious position. So I worked right up until I literally gave birth. I worked that day. And then the next day I was back online and I took no maternity leave whatsoever. And again, I don't say it for sympathy, but I feel there are sacrifices you make as a business owner, which probably from the outside, people don't appreciate sometimes the things that you have to do to enable to keep the company going that then do affect your personal life. So no baby shower, no nice lunches, pushing my baby in a pram. I just worked the whole time. And I'm not going to have any more children, so I'll never get that opportunity. And I feel sad that I was in that position. I don't regret it personally because it wasn't my fault, but it's regretful that I'll never get to experience that and take time off like other mothers in the UK can.
I did manage to have some maternity leave, so that worked quite well for me.
I mean, I struggle to get you to the office most days.
It was difficult to go back.
To get you to actually go to work is sometimes the main struggle.
That's true. I would probably say professionally not being brave enough to create Compass sooner than we did or earlier than we did. But there were reasons we didn't
have the money to do it. You wanted to do it for about 8 years before.
But yeah, I don't really, like Liz said, I don't really have many regrets. Don't really have any.
You definitely should regret more.
Yeah. Maybe I say the wrong thing at times. That should be a regret.
Maybe.
But no, I don't, sorry.
Just how utterly obsessed you have to be with everything. It's quite a hard lesson to learn, but if someone had, probably you wouldn't listen to it anyway if someone had told you before, but it is all consuming and you have to be 100% in. So maybe if I'd known that before, I would have gone and worked somewhere else.
Yeah, I think I was naive to think that running a business was like a job, and it isn't. Outside of my family,
it's a good way of putting it.
DSnm is 7 days a week. I don't stop working, whether it's 11 o'clock at night, and that's my choice. And I also do love what I do, so it doesn't feel like I'm working.
But even if you're not physically working, so if you're not replying to a client or something, the responsibility doesn't go away. You can't just finish at 5, turn your phone off and be like, see you on Monday.
Yeah.
Because that's just not how it works.
I think the last time was, like you said, the last time I turned my phone off and didn't have emails was 14 years ago.
On our honeymoon.
On our honeymoon.
But you turned yours off and I had to keep mine on.
Yeah. Again, you're a better person than me. And I'm learning to be all right with that.
Yeah, okay. Well, Dave tells me all the time how good I am at arguing. So
you should definitely be a lawyer.
Yeah.
100%.
I'd been like a barrister or something. Or if not, maybe something to do with human psychology. Because I find people, the way that they think and the things they do, absolutely fascinating. Sometimes not in a good way. But yeah, I actually think law would be quite interesting.
Your information.
I don't mind a good argument.
No. I used to love arguments. I don't now, because they're not really arguments anymore. It's more. I could probably count on one hand how many serious arguments we've had. Now it's just admitting that this is right, and it's a much easier way to get on with things.
I'm so happy you finally come around to me. I feel like my work here is done.
The only real thing is when 95% of the time I'm right is with anything to do with numbers, but. Then I'm wrong.
Numbers aren't my strong point. No.
But yeah, you'd definitely be a lawyer. I think anything in sales, I think I really wanted to be a pilot, but I think maybe so. Yeah.
There you go.
I really wanted to be a pilot, but
we're all learning here today.
Yeah.
You go first.
Mine would be Athena. Probably because,
Good one.
Yeah, probably because she's just a classic, and I've been lucky enough to be on board quite a few times, and yeah, she was a very early client to dsnm, which is also quite nice. But seeing her under sail is pretty incredible. I would say Athena.
Mine would be a Kijo. Beautiful sailing yacht, but more what I love about her is that she's done some really epic journeys, passages around the world to places that really a sailing yacht doesn't look like it should be. And I love that because she's really been used and she's proven that she can go anywhere really. So yeah.
Probably Nero. Yeah. I don't know. It's just beautiful. It's classic.
And very unique, isn't she?
Unique. I mean, the modern ones I do like, but there's not many that when you look and you double take, Nero would be one of them. I'd probably say Nero.
Mine to look at would be Obsidian.
Yeah,
I
good
just
choice.
love the design, the way that everything's at different angles. But also Motor Yacht Fee, which is slightly controversial because she's unfortunately not been out doing much in the last couple of years. But we were fortunate when she was in the yard before she launched to go and look round her. And the captain, Guy, is a really good friend of ours, and he gave us a full tour. And we also got to meet with the designer, one of the designers, George. And it's a shame no one's really got to see her yet because it's very unique inside. So yeah, I would say to look at, they would be my favourites.
Yeah, she's pretty special actually, thinking about it.
Oh, for me, 100% Antarctica on octopus, which will never happen, sadly. But a few Christmases ago, some famous people had chartered her, and I followed them quite closely on Instagram, and it was just amazing. That would be my dream, but only on a boat like octopus.
I would probably say Indonesia. Indonesia on a sailing boat. I have a picture in my mind what it would look like, and also somewhere in Indonesia on a boat where there isn't anybody else, no other boats at anchor, nobody else. That I think I used to understand why people had boats before and they'd want to go to Saint-Tropez and into Corsica and all the popular places. But I think the longer we've been running the company, we see people going to places that other people don't go.
Yeah.
And for me now, that I would want to go to on a boat where there is nobody else, to see places where there is nobody. Like Liz said about Akijo, they go to some amazing places. So yeah, I think probably somewhere in Indonesia. I'm just going to put Alicia on both sides.
100%
Oh,
me.
1,000,000%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you say me?
I'm just going to hold this. Oh, without doubt.
It's not even comparable. He's a terrible driver.
I don't have any attention. I'm all right. I'm all right for about 15, 20 minutes. After that, I lose interest. Oh, no doubt. Oh, no doubt.
Really?
You don't know you're funny.
You see me?
Yeah, you don't know you're
well,
funny.
that's because you steal a lot of my material.
Only me because I'm inappropriate, but genuine humour, you. Oh, easy. No problem.
Dave,
no problem.
Dave will wake up and be ready to go out the front door in about 30 seconds.
So he listens well everything then?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Liz would burn water.
I think that's slightly
I think our
unfair.
son, even now, when he hears the microwave, he will say, "Mummy's cooking."
Yeah, he does, yeah. It's not I can't cook, I don't enjoy it,
Whoa,
and you're
whoa,
so
whoa.
much better at it than me.
Whoa.
And I am very aware of my strengths and abilities, and I think it's good that if you're not that into something, it's better you let someone who's
Sometimes it'd
better.
be nice trying that.
That's a wrap. This is the content nobody asked for.
Thanks very much.
Like and subscribe.
Oh, click like and subscribe.